Vi ska nu få stifta bekantskap eller fördjupad bekantskap med ett bolag som heter Omnicar. Och för det ändamålet så har vi bett vd Claus T. Hansen att komma hit här. Claus, please come up. Welcome.
Tack Peter.
This is a company based in Denmark, and in order to make it easier for all of us, we've decided to conduct this interview in English. Claus, it's nice to have you here. You have been here before, and I guess some of the people here in the audience, they know about the company, but as always, they are eager to know even a bit more. So, first of all, can you tell me a little bit about Omnicar? What is the story of the company, and what is your business case?
Yeah. Omnicar developed a software product that makes auto dealers able to make service contracts to their customers. So, and why is that important? What is the whole reason behind this about making a service contract? It's important because every time any car driver or car customer buys a new car with an authorized car dealer, then 60% of them never comes back to the car dealer.
60%?
60%.
Is that so?
That's so, yeah.
Wow.
And during the first 5 years of a car's lifespan, then 80% never returns to the car dealer. And that's why you see companies like Merkonomen and some of the independent workshops grow dramatically, and where you see the car industry lacks in profit. So there's a big challenge for the auto dealers to maintain and keep their customers. Another big challenge is that just a few years ago, when you had a car, the car needed to be serviced and maintained maybe 2 or 3 times a year. Nowadays, it's only 1 time for the first 2 years of a car, for example. And also, there's extremely less car accidents on the roads. So the margin and the revenue that comes out of a car are being reduced over the years. So that's why if you cannot protect your customer relationships by having a service agreement, then there's one thing that is certain, and that is you will lose the customer to an independent workshop chain.
So what you're saying is that we're rather unfaithful. Is it 80%?
80%, yeah, leaves the authorized dealers to shop for their service and maintenance at the independent car dealers. And have in mind that after the first 2 or 3 years, that's actually when the car needs service and repairs. It's not for the first 2 years. It's after the 3 and 4th years you really need to have your car serviced and maintained.
Wow, okay. You as a company have changed your business model over the last 12 months. And how is the current model constructed, and what are the advantages as of today compared to 12 or 15 months ago?
Yeah. I mean, we are a new company, and a new company, we need to change our business model. Did you know, in fact, that just a decade ago, the average length of a company that had its life was 75 years. 75 years was a time that a company exists. Nowadays, it's only 15 years. And that applies across all industries, and that also applies in the software industry. So of course you need to change and adapt to every kind of market behavior that there is. And that also applies for car dealers, and that's why they need to protect their customers, but it also applies to us. And that's why we need to change the model when we see that there is an opportunity to change it. So previously we had a business model where we got a transactions fee every time a car dealer made a service agreement, and now we have a solution where car dealers and workshops, they subscribe to our software, and then they pay a small fee every month, and in that way they can use our software platform to generate more business to themselves.
And is that a change that has been developed based upon a demand from the customers or from the car dealers, or is it a combination of both, that where you have seen that there has been a change in the market and you have adapted towards it?
It's a change in the market that drive that, because what we saw was that the big car dealers, they started to generate a lot of service contract, and if they had to pay a transactions fee, they would pay a lot of money for our solution. Because just over we market our solution last year, after the summer holidays, when we went to the market with our new product, and from end of last year to this date, our dealers have generated more than 75 million Swedish kronor in service subscription revenue on our platform. 75 million. And have in mind, we are only a 2 years old company. 2 years old.
And what time frame did you say for those 75?
Within almost 7 months.
7 months.
7 months, they have generated more than 75 million Swedish kronor on our platform. Only and that is actually what I think is, in my view, is one of the biggest accomplishments we have achieved, is that such a young company can now prove that we can actually add for 75 million krona value to our customers, and I think that's very rare.
Yeah, it has definitely proven that the model works.
Exactly, and that's my proof that you now have a company like Omnicar that has proven that it actually have a significant value to our customers, and that's a fundamental to succeed in this kind of environment.
And it has also proven that the changes that you have implemented has been successful, because now you see that the turnover is starting to increase, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. I know that you have rather aggressive numbers, because today you have about 700 customers, is that correct?
Yes.
And your aim is to have a bit over 1,500 by the end of the year. And that is quite the scale up. How will you achieve that?
Well, again, first of all, last year in our first quarter, our growth to the fourth quarter last year was 46% in revenue, in service subscription revenue, which I think is quite impressive. And that shows that we can actually grow our business fast, because we grow 46%. What we see now is a lot of the big workshop chains, like Merkonomen. I actually had a meeting here in Malmö last week with Merkonomen. They are looking at our software. They have 3,500 workshops in Scandinavia, plus 300 in Poland. 3,500. Imagine if we get a chain like that. And I can definitely tell you that there's not a single large workshop chain in Scandinavia that we are not speaking with right now. So when you talk about growing from 700 to 1,500, right, I think that's even, I mean, because there's always a chance of failure, but I think we have eliminated a lot of those risks. But if we succeed, and when we succeed, we are not looking at 1,500, then we will be looking at 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 workshop change.
Because when you hear that figure growing from 700 to 1,500, it's rather impressive. But when you explain it, it makes sense, because there is so much out there to grab and to explore.
Yeah. And it is those 700 who have actually generated 75 million Swedish krona in service subscription revenue.
Okay. You say Sweden. You say
Norway,
Denmark. Those are the main markets as of today, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Where you are active and that you have started to approach. But then I've heard that you have plans for Great Britain, and you also have plans for Germany. Is that correct, or have I misunderstood something?
No, that's, I mean, being a software company where you have an automotive industry that are within your target group, then of course you can't ignore Germany. That's the biggest country in the world, except from US. But you know, here in Europe,
it's a big important market. Yeah.
Of course, we are looking at Germany, but firsthand we will be looking at England. They have around 30 million cars on the streets, so that's a big market, and we will look at that and employ our first manager over there. Probably this month or next month.
Okay.
And then afterwards, I'm not sure whether it's going to be Germany. It could also be Netherlands or Benelux. So,
when we started to discuss here, you said that we as car owners are rather unfaithful. We tend to leave and buy our services elsewhere.
Yeah.
Is that the same pattern in Great Britain, and that is one of the reasons why you find it an interesting market, or is it just because there is an enormous volume, or is it a sort of a combination of the both?
It's quite fascinating, I mean, visiting car dealers around Europe, because except from the language, you will not be able to tell whether you're in Denmark, Switzerland, Italy, or France. It's completely the same, and the workshop chains are completely the same. Same environment, same kind of mentality. It's extremely equal kind of business situation they are facing in each country.
Oh, yeah. The industry that you are present in is going through some interesting changes, and one of them being electrification, electric cars. How is service agreements going to affect Omnicar? Is that something you look positively upon with electrical vehicles, or they never need any services whatsoever? They can run forever without service? Or have we, as consumers, misunderstood something? Is it the same as having an ordinary car?
Yeah, completely the same. I mean, you need to have your brakes checked, you need to have your tire changed. So it's exactly the same. The only risk, basically, the dealers and the workshop face when they manage electrical vehicles is that the frequency is maybe a little bit less, which the frequency is already extremely less.
Yeah.
So they need to incorporate other services, and our platform actually facilitates that. So through our platform, you can start selling insurances, roadside assistance, tire hotel, and all kind of added-on values that can be related to a car ownership. So that's actually why we welcome the electrification of the industry, because that would only make a product like ours even more important for the auto industry.
Okay. You now conduct a rights issue. You're
Yes.
asking for some money from existing shareholders and from the market. Tell us a little bit, how will that assist you in the coming 12, 24, 36 months, and how will you use that proceed?
Yeah, firstly, we have been growing fast this year and last year, and we need to grow even faster. And we can do that by expanding into new markets, and we'll do that. We use that proceeds to definitely to expand into UK, hopefully another market as well. And also we needed to have cash to bring us into a situation where we are cash positive. It is expensive to develop software, and it takes a lot of hours to work on making a scalable software solution, and add new features and maintain it and everything. So we'll use the money for that.
Is there anything else exciting that you have in pipeline for the company?
Yeah, because after the auto industry, I mean, my vision is that we all buy stuff today. And when we buy stuff, where do we source it? On the internet. And yesterday I bought a bike on the internet, and one of my friends said, "So where did you buy it?" And I said, "On the internet." "Yeah, but from which job?" "I don't know, I just bought it from the internet." So I think a lot of mentality is that you buy stuff on the internet, you buy stuff on Amazon, you buy stuff on eBay, so you sort of lose your relations to the original supplier. In the old days, you went down to your bike shops and you had a relation to that supplier, but that has been completely removed now. So the challenge for those suppliers is to have a hook in the end customer, because next time I want a bike, I still go to the internet and I don't care about the place where I bought the bike for the first time. So that bike shop has one opportunity to put a hook in me, and that is when they make the purchase transactions. So my dream is to make this software available for all industries across all verticals. So after the auto industry, there's 1.1 million auto dealers in Europe, so there's a lot of dealers to approach firsthand. 271 million cars, so it's a big industry. But then you have bikes, you have boats, housewagen, trailers, whatever. Anything that needs a service subscription is where we belong.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming here and to explain to us.
Yeah.
You will be out there?
Yes, absolutely.
If there is anyone in here who would like to discuss in the next coming break. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Tack.
Thank you.